immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's event, session on Accelerators Incubation, Opportunities for Early Stage Entrepreneurs. We are honored to have with us our distinguished resource person, Dr. R. Balakrishna Raja, Principal, Scientific Officer and Head of the Technology Business Incubator and Head of the Department of Biotechnology. Sir, it is indeed a privilege to have you here to share your expertise and insights with us. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to our respected resource person, faculty members, and all participants. Let us now begin this exciting session.
So thank you for the words and invitation. So here I am basically apart from the faculty where we are working for the community. So when you look at the community in deed, we are trying to map what are the issues existing with the society, right? So our day-to-day life, we should try to what you say, better or it is going down. What do you feel? ஸோ நீங்கள் ஃபஸ்ட் டே காலேஜ் வந்ததுக்கும் இப்பயும் யூ ஃபீல் இட் இஸ் ஒர்த் ஓகே நான் நல்லா பெட்டராகிட்டு இருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவீங்களா இல்லை டவுனில் போயிட்டுருக்கேன்னு சொல்லுவீங்களா? ஹவு டு யூ see yourself? ஸோ எவ்ரி டே வி ஆர் ஃபேஸிங் சம் சேலஞ்ச் அண்ட் வி ஆர் ஓவர்கம்மிங் தட். am I right? ஸோ ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஃபஸ்ட்டு பார்க்கும்போது பெருசாக தெரியும், அப்புறம் எய்தர் யூ அக்கஸ்டம் டு தட் ஆர் யூ ட்ரை டு மேனேஜ் தட் வித் யுவர் intelligence, right? So in society as well, what we are trying to do is the same. Earlier we may be wondering about how to manage with big datas. Now handling the data is not an issue, but sorting the data is the issue, correct? When you try to sort out, you tend to means ஒரு எக்ஸல் இருக்குது, எக்ஸலில் நான் வரிசையாக டைப் பண்ணி டேட்டாஸ்லாம் எடுத்துடலாம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு சுச்சுவேஷன் வேர் அவர் 1980s if you show நான் ஒரு வேர்ட் சொன்னேன்னா எனக்கு சாட் ஜிபிடி தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் த எலமெண்ட்ஸ் அண்டு ஏதோ அதுவே வந்து ஒரு மாஸ்டர் மாதிரி இட் ட்ரைஸ் டு கிவ் யூ த லெக்சர் மெட்டீரியல் நோட்ஸ் எவ்ரி திங், ரைட்? ஸோ வென் யூ ஷோ திஸ் டு எ ப்ரொஃபஸர் ஆர் சயின்டிஸ்ட் ஹூ ஆர் லிவிங் அட் த ஏஜ் ஆஃப் 1960s, அதில் ரொம்ப பெரிய ப்ரொஃபஸர் கூப்பிட்டு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா தே ஃபீல் லைக் இட் இஸ் அ வெரி கிரேட் திங், சம்திங் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங், ரைட்? I hope all of you understand the bilingual. I am using Tamil as well as English for the better reach. You know, when you read the face, I could not understand whether you are here by mental or you are somewhere else. Okay, so to catch that moment, I use such phrases. Okay, so when you look at that period and all, you feel it is something great happened. இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒரு ஆல்ஃபா ஏஜில் ஆல்ஃபா ஜென்ரேஷனில் இருக்க ஒரு கிட்டுக்கிட்ட போயிட்டு யூஸே லைக் பராசக்தின்னு ஒரு படம் போட்டு காட்டினீங்கன்னா மேபி அவங்களோட ஒரு 10-12 ஏஜில் தே ஃபீல் லைக் ஏன் இவங்க ஒரு கால் பண்ணிட்டு போயிருக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஒய்? பிகாஸ் தே ஈவன் ஹேவன்ட் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் தட் எ வேர்ல்டு வித்தவுட் செல்ஃபோன்ஸ் அப்படின்னு ஒரு உலகம் இருந்ததே அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது, ரைட்? ஸோ த சிச்சுவேஷன்ஸ் ஆர் வெரி டிஃப்ரெண்ட். மேபி வி ஆர் லிவிங் அட் த ஏஜ் வேர் ராஜராஜ சோழன் ஒரு பெரிய அரசன் சொல்கிறோம், அவன் இந்தளவு சொஃபஸ்டிகேட்டடாக கூட இருந்திருக்க முடியாது. வி ஆர் ஹேவிங் 3 days a meal அண்ட் வெரி வெல் articulated clothes, okay, curated systems, everything we are following and using. Maybe it is not available for those who are very elite during those ancient times, maybe, okay. So how do you see that these changes are happening and who are the person responsible for all these changes? So many orators, when they talk about, they mention 3 apples which have changed the world அப்படின்வாங்க. Do you know what are they? The first apple, of course the person who started this dialogue is from Western world, so he means that Adam's apple, Adam and Eve, who are the generator for the world. So that made the first impact. And what is the second apple? Newton. Of course he discovered gravitational force. It's not invention, correct? I hope you understand what is invention and discovery. So what is the third apple? what you are now using, majority of the mobile phones. And we see that even though mobile phones are available, we have the benchmark of mobile phones as iPhones, and we famously call it Apple phones, right? So how do you see the transformation? Means this is the one word, Apple just connect all these three but doesn't have to do anything with that. But with that phrase, what I try to mean here is the change. Okay, or nowadays in social sites you mean to say the trend, right? So everyone are looking for how many likes you have, how many views we have. And now the trend is like they are taking the ratio of views and likes. இப்போ எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு 200 பேர் பார்த்துருக்குறான், 2 லைக்ஸ் தான் வந்திருக்குன்னா, what is the proportionality? It is very few. So 200 பேர் பார்த்துருக்கான், 120 லைக்ஸ் வந்திருக்குன்னா, it is great. Okay, so we are traveling, or we are seeing a world where more impactful as well as a resourceful environment are existing side by side. Okay, so we are seeing a people who are suffering, and we also have a solution with us in terms of some other resource. So how you are going to match and manage, that's what the question nowadays. Okay, நீங்கள் சிங்கிள் சயின்டிஸ்டாக இருந்து he worked for almost 100, means என்ன 100 நாள் சாப்பிடாம கூட இருந்து he invented something very meticulous things, and these kinds of discoveries are ruling the world. இன்னைக்கு சொல்லணும்னா ஜேஎல் பேர்ட் who has invented, என்ன கண்டுபிடிச்சாரு? தெரியலையா? I think some of you might heard about jailbird Marconi radio. Of course, many of us know. So jailbird televisionலாம் படிச்சிருப்பீங்கள்ல. So later monitorலாம் கண்டுபிடிச்சாங்க. Gutenberg printing press. So ஒரு auction நடந்தது last week where it is a Bible with a quote of 42 written in that. It was sold almost $210 billion. ரொம்ப பழைய பேஜஸ் எல்லாமே. Do you know what is the reason behind? ஏன் அவ்வளோ காசுக்கு அதை வாங்கினாங்க அப்படின்னா, இந்த ஜான் குட்டன்பர்கோட ப்ரெஸ்ஸில் அடித்த ஃபஸ்ட்டு 46 காப்பீஸ் தான் he has printed the Bible. ஸோ அதில் 42nd புக் ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துல இருந்து காப்பாற்றப்பட்டு it has reached some hand and they have got it for a very huge amount. Okay, இப்போ it is not about the content, it is about the holding that value. Okay, so now we are looking at price, especially when you want to have ice cream, you have different options, right? When you go for a premium one, I go for a sugarless one, someone go for fruit and nuts, some other flavors. So based on the brands they differ. Even though you see that ice cream is a normal thing which everyone has. So recently one person have made an impact by changing the way the ice cream was looked. Ice cream எதுக்கு சாப்பிட வேணாம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க? ஒரு காய்ச்சல் அடிச்சது, ஜுரம் வந்ததுன்னா சாப்பிட வேணாம் சொல்லுவாங்க. But now there are certain ice creams with probiotics and prebiotics which can be consumed especially to get rid of your cold or fever. How many of you know this? So biologically it works. Okay, I'm happy one person at least heard. What is the brand name? Amul has come up, correct? Give him a big hand. Amul has made a one great impact because of one white revolutionary personality called Kurian, right? So Kurian, who was able to do the white revolution, and what is that impact is nothing but he formed a community called GCCF, that is Gujarat Cooperation of farmers, who has come together for milk vending as well as selling. Okay, so this association was later termed as Amul. Okay, Amul நம்ம பார்க்குறது வந்து it's a group of people's effort. It was actually formed as a community initially, then cooperative society, and then it turned into a company. Okay, அமுல்ல யாரெல்லாம் ஸ்டேக் வச்சுருக்காங்களோ they were given returns at a very high rate. For example, I am giving milk for 10 rupees. 10 rupees worth milk நான் கொடுக்குறேன்னா the Amul will return back in terms of 10,000 rupees. It's a collective and cooperative way of working and seeing the profit. So similarly, if you look at a person who has established something very significantly as a separate, not only in food technology, in all other. How many of you know that Agnikul Cosmos? For recent, very famous Agnikul Cosmos, we have the person named Srinath. Srinath is the founder, and he who has operated the different drones, and he has helped the people, especially in warfare drones. So he played a major role in all these your Sintur or other operations. Okay, the Indian army he supported a lot by creating all these drones and operated from here, and it crossed the territory, that is enemy's territory. It crossed and able to track certain important photographs, which was very helpful for the army people to attack at the correct time and the correct place, etc. So these are all possible. This is not that they are very experienced or well educated about this territorial background, etc. They are doing it for fun, and they are from the IIT background, and they did it with a passion that my drone has to take a aerial view picture of the whole city. That's the only agenda, but later you see the impact and usability. So whatever the invention or innovation you have, it should have more used cases. That's the first idea everyone has to look for. இப்போ நீங்கள் போய் ஒரு ஃபண்டிங் கேட்குறீங்க அப்படின்னா, the accelerator or incubator, what they will look for is not that worth or what is the intelligent component involved, all these things. இது எதுவுமே கிடையாது. You are telling like I have an invention. So how many people will use this? That is called a used case. Okay, if you have more used case, more profit will come. So it is very well in comparison with the ROI, otherwise called return on investment. நான் இன்னைக்கு ஒரு 10,000 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறேன்னா, how long it will take to the same money has to come back. எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு வருஷம் கழிச்சு தான் 10,000 வரும்னா, it is the very long term. எனக்கு ஒரு நாள்லேயே 10,000 கொடுக்குறீங்கன்னா very short term, 24 hours, right? So அப்போ what kind of business we are doing and what are the product we are impacting, that thing is most commonly used. That is the first and foremost is your used cases. Okay, the second thing what we are looking for is the valuation. For example, maybe I am talking about the paper. The paper was considered useless during a time. When the rule changed, பேப்பரில் யூஸ் பண்ணுறது தான் செல்லுபடி ஆகும் அப்படின்னு மாறினப்போ, there is a huge demand for paper, and almost every person who is experienced in some chemistry, they started the paper. Even the rubber industry, the same way the rubber has impacted. Same way now what is impacting the world is the AI. நம்ம சும்மா இப்போ ஃபன்னுக்காக நீங்கள் செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கிற ஏஐயில் கொஸ்டின் கேட்டு விளையாடிட்டு இருக்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு ஹெல்ப் யூ இன் சம் அதர் வே, and especially it was called prompt engineering. This prompt engineering will be used in future, especially for certain ways it is connected to the social sites. So நீங்கள் இப்போ இன்ஸ்டாகிராம்லேயோ ஃபேஸ்புக்லேயோ so many data you are sharing knowingly or unknowingly. So all these will be kept as a huge data sets or databases, and specifically the databases can be used to customize your needs and whatever the willingness, wish, everything. So for example, if I like color of violet, so some product is sold to me. The product, especially based on the color, will be displayed to me, and it can be sold to me. So that is how the technologies are developing with us. ஸோ நம்ம சோஷியல் சைட்ஸில் ஃப்ரீன்னு சொல்கிற எல்லாமே நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம், we are actually selling ourselves. Okay, there is nothing called free, and we are actually selling our own what you see, the wish, emotions, wills, etc. Okay, so for any product you want to develop, the first and foremost thing I said, you should know about the used case. The second thing is the valuation, and third thing what you must have is the feelings. ஏன்னா இது டோட்டலாக டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக சொல்லுவோம். ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் டெவலப் பண்ணுறதுல ஷுட் யூ ஹாவ் எனி ஃபீலிங்ஸ்? ஷுட் நாட். So feelings are something connected to the product. That's how the Apple becomes taken its brand. Any product you name, I will tell that feeling behind. Okay, dairy milk chocolateலேருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு whatever you say, Maggi noodlesலேருந்து, so many things. Not only food based, even the automobile industry or the product 3M technologies. The 3M technologies are greatest in using that cases. Okay, so how we are impacting the life through you. So that feelings you have to connect. Even உங்களோட கிர்லோஸ்கர், the power, how they are connected to you. Everyone are trying to connect you through the ad, right? நீங்கள் வாட்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்களா? ஆடில் என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க? ஜஸ்ட் யூ வில் பி given 15 seconds of time. You have to show and focus what you want to touch. So 80% of the people will touch upon the feelings. Okay, how it is directly connected to you. So the third point we are looking for is the emotions or feelings, how it is connected. We are not here to generate emotions. நான் ரேசிசமோ இது மாதிரி பிளாக்காக இருக்கிறது நல்லா இருக்காது அப்படின்லாம் we are not going to talk about, or we are not going to portray that. But how this thing can better the human life and how it can impact the society, we are going to translate in terms of this emotions. Okay, and the last one is the money. இது எல்லாத்த விட கடைசியாக என்ன வருதுன்னா காசு. ஸோ மணி இஸ் நாட் த ஃபஸ்ட் திங் வி லுக் ஃபார், வி லுக் அட் த எண்ட். இது எல்லாத்துக்கும் எவ்வளோ செலவாகுது அப்படின்னு பார்ப்பாங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ தட்ஸ் வை பீப்புள் புட் குவாலிட்டி அட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அண்ட் மணி அட் த லாஸ்ட். ஸோ தட் யூ வில், உங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ அதை ஃபஸ்ட்டு ப்ரியாரிட்டியாக பண்ணிக்கலாம் அவுட் ஆஃப் ஆல் தீஸ் ஃபோர். ஓகே, ஸோ வென் யூ புட் மணி அட் லாஸ்ட், ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி இட் கம்ஸ் and its value can be changed. Is it a dependent variable or independent variable? Always as a engineering, all of you are which department? Engineering? Engineering as well as? Okay, MBA also there. MBA means you must know what is independent and dependent variables. So money is always a dependent variable. What are the independent variables? It's time. Okay, time நீங்கள் எங்கேயுமே மாற்ற முடியாது. Also at some cases the space. So to have your success at heightened time or heightened space, நாளாக வேறு இடத்துல உங்களுக்கு சக்ஸஸ் வேணும்னா you cannot optimize this time and space, but you can optimize the money. Okay, so to rise that you must alter your potential or skill. அது பண்ணிங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக யூ வில் அச்சீவ் இன் தட். ஓகே, அண்ட் மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் த வேர்ல்ட் இஸ் ட்ரிவன் பை மேனேஜர்ஸ் ஆர் இட்ஸ் மேனேஜ்ட். ஓகே, அண்ட் ஹவு திஸ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் கம்ஸ், இட்ஸ் ஆல் ஃப்ரம்ஸ் யூ. எஸ்பெஷலி பீட்டர் ட்ரக்கலா, ஹூ இஸ் த ஃபாதர் ஆஃப் MBA, தட் இஸ் பிஸ்னஸ். யார் ஃபாதர் ஆஃப் பிஸ்னஸ்? யார்? I learned some subject called Principles of Management. With that, I am able to convey certain things. You are great in all these things. Okay. So, let me share one small presentation. So, the presentation consists of the present context of how this accelerator or incubator is available in the country and how we are going to progress further, and what you want to have in that. Okay. Yeah. So how do you enterprise the nation is maybe some 5-6 years back, if you could have asked how many startups are there, I could have shown a number in 2 digits. Yeah, now we have plenty of startups. It's not that all startups will become success, but we have the trend or the mindset of establishing or looking at the problem and how to solve it in a mass. Okay, if there is a garbage found in your city, why can't the government can clean by itself? இது வரைக்கும் போட்ட கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்கீம்ஸ் எல்லாமே என்ன பண்ணுறோம்? We are having some problems and the government has to take initiative and clean it. Will that give you a sustainable solution? டெய்லியுமே குப்பை வரதான் போகுது. If it's all depend upon a certain policy or a certain government or certain person, why can't it be the dependent or it is inclusive with that society itself? நம்ம தான் அந்த சொசைட்டியில் இருக்கோம், அப்போ நம்மளையே அதில் செல் பண்ணலாம் இல்லையா? ஸோ ஆன் தட் பேசிஸ் ஒன்லி மெனி கவர்மெண்ட் ஹவ் ஸ்டார்டட் ஸ்கீம். they have promoted all these cleaning projects through the startups. ஸோ நீங்கள் ஒரு கார்பேஜ் க்ளீன் பண்ணமோ அந்த இடத்த சுத்தமாக வச்சுக்கிறதுக்கு யூ ஆர் ஆக்சுவலி பேயிங் த மணி. கார்பரேஷனுக்கு டேக்ஸ்லாம் பண்ணுறீங்க இல்லையா? they take the government tenders and they separate or segregate the waste and take the useful ones and unused one, and they are burning and giving it as a fertilizer or a char which can go to the landfill. So they are making the economy circular, in the sense the same money has to be invested, reinvested, so that additional input whenever it is required, it is taken from the people who are using that hub or the community. The same people are paying that in terms of taxes. Okay, so this is the reliable source and sustainable source for doing a circular economy, and this is something useful and successful model which the world has seen. One best examples we can give is Japan, as well as the Singapore, German, US also at some territories they are using these practices, and India also we have best examples where you go to Chandigarh you will see, and Indore is the finest place. Mysore also started practicing. If you look at the Tamil Nadu, we are yet to develop, but we have already started initiatives in Coimbatore through some NGOs, and everyone are doing. So they are collecting money and they are reinvesting in that. By the way, they are cleaning the city as well. Okay, the same model was adopted, and this was famously called the smart city or smart village projects. Okay, so these are all the overview of the startup ecosystem, where different how you are looking at. Maybe I may be the founder of the organization, I am the startup company owner, I can look at the things differently. I see there are when I go to the forest, I see so many what you say, the wastes are dumped. Okay, imagine if a tiger or a buffalo, or means what you say, the bullock, Indian bull, they are trying to use that, it is affected. Okay, so I cannot earn profit in that aspect, but what I can do is I can take some initiative and raise fund from the other modes. That is, if you want to sustain a startup, you must have the fund inflow as well as outflow. So that we need to manage by different means. It's not necessarily from the customer. இப்போ நான் சத்தியமங்கலமில் இருக்கேன், நான் சேம் ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். இந்த கார்டெல்லாம் க்ளீன் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னு இங்கே வந்து காசு கேட்டேன்னா நோபடி வில் கிவ், ரைட்? பட் இதுவே ரிலையன்ஸ் அம்பானி, ஹூ இஸ் ஸ்பெண்டிங் அரவுண்ட் 10,000 crores ஃபார் maybe 10 years once, and he can give some 1 crore for cleaning all these things. Okay, it may be a peanut for them. Okay, so this kind of idea, tendency, where more social entrepreneurs are developing, they are trying to solve these problems. And also you have the battery based bikes, Ather ஒன்று வந்துச்சு, சக்ஸஸ் ஆச்சு. You see how many have come in, many such cases are coming in. So when you are succeeding in one field, more players will come. ஒரு ஸ்கூல் நல்லா போயிருக்கு அப்படின்னா அதை சுற்றி ஒரு 10 ஸ்கூல் வரும். இட் டசன்ட் மீன் தட் நம்மளுக்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இல்லைன்னு கிடையாது. வேர் டு யூ கோ அண்ட் பை த வெஜிடபிள்ஸ்? மார்க்கெட்ஸ். ஸோ மார்க்கெட்டில் ஒரே ஒரு கடை மட்டும் இருந்ததுன்னா அது பெட்டரா, இல்லை குரூப் ஆஃப் ஷாப்ஸ் இருந்தால் பெட்டரா? ஸோ எல்லாருமே என்ன திங்க் பண்ணலாம், எல்லாம் தான் பக்கத்தில் எல்லா கடையும் வச்சுருக்காங்க, நம்மளும் எதுக்கு வைக்கணும்? தே கேன் திங்க் லைக். ஸோ இட்ஸ் நாட் அபவுட் தட். When you have the group of schools available in one place, still you see the quota of Rajasthan is the leading in having more educational technology industries, edutech industries, because more people are approaching there to clear their JEE and other higher level examinations. So you must see the things as opportunity, not as distractions or something to hurdle. Okay. So where more things are there, more people go. That's the reason Bangalore is developing. What we must do here is we must create a ecosystem or the place to have all these ventures to come here. சத்தியமங்கலமே உங்களால் அப்படி மாற்ற முடியும் when like a international village like Auroville in Pondicherry, the same way you can convert here by having different ideas and startups. Okay. Yeah, next. So this is the rank of Tamil Nadu in terms of having a higher education institutes. நம்மள்ட்ட எவ்வளோ institutes இருக்கோ, what is the advantage is that all the ideas are growing from the institutes. So now a university or some people who are looking from the top, I must look at the Tamil Nadu as a hub or the technology catchment area. நான் ஒரு குளம் மாதிரி பார்க்குறேன் அப்படின்னா, தமிழ்நாட்டில் உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளோ காலேஜஸ் இருக்குது, எல்லா காலேஜ்லேயும் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஒன் பர்சன் இஸ் அட்லீஸ்ட் டூயிங் ஒன் ப்ராஜெக்ட். லெட்ஸ் அஸ்யூம் நம்ம காலேஜ்லேருந்து அட்லீஸ்ட் 7,000 ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் வில் கம் அவுட். If you think one project is going to change the impact of some in the technology industry or something society level, you imagine how impactful it is. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு 10 வருஷத்துக்கு பண்ணால் 10 different ideas are going to change the whole nation. So that's how the government is looking at the people or the student. Okay. So Tamil Nadu have leveraging that by having more ideas. Yeah, next slide. So how to build a brand is based on this called you have an idea and the idea must be acknowledged by some outsources. Like நான் இன்றைக்கி ஒரு குக்கி பண்ணேன், எங்கள் அம்மா வந்து சூப்பராக இருக்குன்னு சொன்னாங்க, அதனால் நான் இதை வந்து ஒரு கம்பெனியாக கொண்டு போக போகிறேன். It is not that startup. Okay. When you do something and really you must get the appreciation from the faces you don't know or strangers. And honest feedbacks you must hear. ஓகே, நம்ம செஞ்சோங்கிறதுக்காக நம்ம அப்பா என்ன சொல்வார், சூப்பர்டா, இதை மாதிரி யாருமே பண்ண முடியாது அப்படின்வார். ஓகே, இட் இஸ் நாட் தட் த வே வி லுக் அட் த ப்ராடக்ட். ஓகே, வென் யூ டூ சம்திங், ஒரு டிராயிங் வரைஞ்சிருப்போம், நல்லா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க வீட்டில், பட் டீச்சர் மார்க் போடும்போது அதுக்கு ஒரு 5 மார்க் தான் போடுறாருன்னா, வி மஸ்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் வாட் இஸ் த லேகிங் அண்ட் ஹவு டு டெவலப் அவர் செல்ஃப். ஓகே, ஸோ த கஸ்டமர்ஸ் ஆர் பேசிக். Once the customers are there, then automatically the money will flow. எனக்கு நல்லா இருக்குது, once you give me a pleasure or give me the feel of it is okay, I will start giving the money. Okay, so money will come. After that you have to concentrate on something called USP. Maybe you have different coffee shops available and ஏன் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக நீங்கள் ஒரு காஃபி ஷாப் போவீங்க. Okay, then you start thinking of something called unique selling point. What is that USP of that particular shop? That you must understand. Okay, எனக்கு எவ்வளோ கோஸ்டா காஃபி இருக்குது, டாட்டாவோடது இருக்குது, ஸோ எங்கே போகிறீங்க, லைக் காஃபி டே வச்சுருக்கோம், ஆர் எனக்கு பிளாக் பெக்கோ போகிறாங்க. ஸோ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பிராண்ட்ஸ் ஹேவ் தேர் ஓன் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிஸ் அண்ட் யூனிக் செல்லிங் பாயிண்ட்ஸ். வி மஸ்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் வாட் இஸ் தட் USP. ஓகே, ஸோ அந்த USPயில் நீங்கள் ஒருத்தராக இருக்கணும். When you look at the car, still Rolls-Royce plays the major. Okay, why? What is the reason? It's a handcrafted. They say means that handcrafting is their USP. When you talk about the Apple, hyper-threading you have in the Windows as well. But Apple doesn't show that it is hyper-threading, but it have it as a component. ஒரு program run ஆகும்போது it doesn't affect the other. So that is how they made that synchronization of Apple laptops. So that is their USP. So like that, what is the USP of your own company? You must understand and identify that. So once you understand that USP, then you can go any scales. Okay, yeah, next. So you started from that idea with all these surrounding. How you are traveling is through the incubator. So incubator will fetch you the funding based on the ideas what you provide. Once we are satisfied, we forward it to the accelerators. Accelerators are mediators from the investment portfolio and academic portfolio. So academy, we tend to do more research, and we don't care about losing money. But investors will not go for any research, even very meager research, if at all it is giving them a profit. Okay, so balancing this, both the accelerators and incubators will work. More inclined towards the academy is the incubator, more inclined towards the investment portfolio is the accelerator. So that's what the theme of this discussion today. So once you are convincing this, then you can go to the scaled business of any product what you have in mind. Understood? Any questions till now? So maybe I deviate for some time, but I come back to the topic. So if you have any doubts, then and there you can rise and ask me. Okay, fine. Okay, I think next. So in between, we need to understand two terminologies. One is the invention. Ideas, when we are talking about ideas are nothing but social ideas or technological ideas or deep tech based, anything it may be. But these ideas are revolving around one component called invention. Okay, so that invention, once I am saying that I have developed this thing, X or Y product. So seeing this, you can think of something in your mind and you can replicate this same thing with your own idea. So when we are till this development, there is no problem. When we are going into the market, for example, I am going to sell to the person some A, B, C, etc. So they see that the product what I have developed and you developed, both are same. He doesn't know that I am the first person who developed or you are the first person who developed, like that. So he only want that product with whatever the idea he has, and especially if you are developing with a less cost, then he tend to prefer your own product, your product. So how these things can be managed is the IPR, otherwise called uh, we are having the intellectual, that intellectual has to be protected. Okay, that's how the patent has come into effect. Okay, so these ideas or technologies, especially the methods as well as process as well as the codings, for example software codings, if you are saying, it can be copyrighted, not patented. It can be copyrighted for 15 years, like that. So after that it will be coming to the open source. So the patent can be it should have the novelty as well as inventive step. Once you have this two component, then it can be patented. Once you have the patent, then you can go for the idea validation. Okay, before idea validation there is a lot more steps involved. It is all nothing but what you have done in your project, that's it. Finally a project if you are doing and successfully completing a product development, then it is, and you are going for a patent with that, then it is called patent validation or idea validation. Once the idea is validated, then only we are entering into the zone of incubation. Okay, so the incubator, they are nothing but the launch pads for the modern economy. So if more products are coming and they are successful in market, then the company is considered as the good startup. Once they are starting or revenue model, and easily if they collect $1 billion within 5 years, then they are called unicorns. So more such unicorns are coming out from a country, the country becomes largest and highest in its economic status. So that's what happening in India. Especially we are marching towards the third giant economy in the global level. Okay, and maybe some 10 years back we are at the 5. Now we are marching towards 3, and taking the 1 it will take almost 2060. Okay, it's not that easy, because in terms of manufacturing you cannot even match the Chinese, but always you have a backup, like biomanufacturing is one key area, especially the energy sector. We can even transform the whole world, what the way India they are looking now. So this can be done at a very large scale. So for that only more initiatives are being adopted, and world is always converging towards this SDGs, sustainability development goals. So one area where you can take advantage of all other nation is this one, because we have the lot of resource in terms of land as well as human. So both, if you use it properly, then we can achieve the status very quickly. And we have the mission of 2070, that is net carbon zero. You know what is that net carbon zero? Maybe this valuation is very less now, but as the year progress it will have more impact. நீங்கள் காலையில் பல் விளக்குறதுல ஆரம்பித்து நைட்டு தூங்குற வரைக்கும் வாட் ஆர் த ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் யூ ஆர் யூஸிங்? யூ ஜஸ்ட் இமேஜின் all the products, it should not produce any carbon footprints in the atmosphere. நீங்கள் ஒரு பைக் வச்சுருக்கீங்கன்னா அதுக்கு 300, ஒரு கார் வச்சுருக்கீங்கன்னா 650. ஸோ லைக் தட் the carbon emissions are calculated based on the what are the things you are owning and using. So based on which your carbon footprints are calculated. So if you are, நான் வந்து ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஒரு 3 மரம் வச்சிடுறேன், அது மூலமாக அது வளர்ந்து எனக்கு கார்பன் நியூட்ரல் பண்ணிடும். I am tallying that how this carbon can be neutraled by the way I am looking at the society. So this is called sustainability. ஸோ இது என்னவா பண்ணியிருக்கணும்னா இந்தியாவில் 2070 ஜீரோவாக பண்ணணும். இந்த சென்ஸ் நீங்கள் என்னெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணுறீங்களோ அது எல்லாத்துக்குமே கார்பன் நியூட்ரல் யூ ஹாவ் டு டெவலப். ஓகே, ஒன்ஸ் யூ அச்சீவ் தட் ஸ்டேட்டஸ் த ஹோல் கண்ட்ரி பிகம்ஸ் பொல்யூஷன் ஃப்ரீ. ஓகே, ஸோ we must use the technology as well as you must use the sophistication as well as you must be in the carbon neutral. It is highly difficult to achieve, but if at all a country can do that, is the first one is the India as well as Japan. Japan being the size of very small, it can easily achieve, but at a scale of very large population, India can even achieve that. Okay, and also the greatest competitor of all time with us is China. Okay, because they are also moving and marching forward. Like, it is not that the olden days we talk about the China product etc. They are very well developed in the engineering, manufacturing, other sectors. Even now the medical also, they achieved a brain transformation very easily. ஒரு மூளையை transform பண்ணுற, it's not very simple. So they succeeded in that brain transformation as well. So in the way I am saying, the deep technology are more engaging the student, and they started thinking in this area. So we must prepare ourselves to counter their all the innovations etc. Okay, so next. So this is the stages where the pre-incubation, post-incubation, in between incubation. In that incubation phase only the capacity has to be developed. Like we are excelling ourselves in preparing a semiconductor, or we are excelling ourselves in preparing a genome isolation, any technique you name. Okay, so that's all based on the skill what you have. Okay, so that you must emphasize. Sorry, the fintech companies, especially when they are looking at how to double the money in short period of time, this is the most of the management role they are thinking about. You have numerous tools also coming up. Can you name what are they? Earlier we used to call about savings, later they call FD with lock-in period etc. And then they have the LIC, later they call provident funds, and then RD. என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் வேறு. இப்போ now you have the ETFs, gold bonds, stocks. ஸோ எது உங்களுக்கு அதிக percentage doubling value should be very less? Which is better? Who has taken finance as major? எந்த டூலில் you have a very less time of converting 1 rupee to 2 rupee, அப்படியே டபுள் ஆகணும். In SIP, very good. Why, can you tell why SIP? So there is an incremental amount plus additionally the interest is calculated based on per each time period, maybe second wise, minute wise, hour wise it changes. Okay, and also the incremental in the sense uh, what about the recurring means we are not allowed to take it for certain time period. Okay, so with that we can even convert for example 1 lakh if you are giving, you can convert that into a 1 crore with a very short duration of 20 years. It is not very simple. You can think like 20 வருஷத்துல இது ரொம்ப லாங் பீரியட்னு நினைக்கலாம், பட் கன்வெர்ட்டிங் சச் திங்ஸ். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் உங்களை இப்போ ஒரு குழந்தை பிறக்குது ஒரு வயசு அப்படின்னா, இஃப் யூ ஸ்டார்ட் இன்னும் 1,00,000 போட்டு வச்சுட்டு இன்க்ரிமெண்டலாக இஃப் யூ பிளான் எஃபெக்டிவ்லி, then you can earn 1 crore to that child's name within a period of 20 years. It will be very short time actually. Okay, even when you start going for a job or 22 வயசுல ஜாபுக்கு வரீங்க and you start doing that with the same concept, at 40 you will have the a crore. So always it is not a very long time period, maybe even you can reduce it to 15 years if you have proper tools and planning. Okay, so like that these kinds of ideas have emerged based on some fintech areas like you. Because how many of you, I don't know about the stock market earlier, but now Zerodha has make it very simple. Otherwise many of the people will not be a stakeholder for stocks. இங்கே போய் எங்கேயும் நம்ம ஸ்டாக்ஸ் வாங்கிலாம் எதுவும் பண்ண மாட்டோம், பட் they have made it very simple and easier for us. So this is one kind of innovation what they had. So like that even after Zerodha there are numerous people have come into the field, but they could not leverage with the same concept because they faced so many trust dependent and various factors which has made them to come down. Okay, so these are all the ideas where you can actually look at how we can bloom. Okay, I think all these things are support. When you are doing something you need support as well. So this talks about how these startups can grow with respect to all the other factors. Maybe it is the society which has to do something to you and your family has to support. Apart from all this you must have the trust with your colleagues, fellows. So which can நாளைக்கு நான் இந்த டெலிவரி பண்ணிடுறேன்னு சொல்லிடலாம், and because of tired you may not be able to actually be there. But if it is not going, the consignment package la correctana time polana, it is the again trouble to you. Okay, so to manage, once the company has grown to some scale, then people are spending more amount in the maintaining. For example Amazon la AWS nu onu solranga. What is that they are doing? It is outsourcing service. ஏன் அதுக்கு அவ்வளோ காசு கொடுக்குறாங்க? அமேசான் இஸ் யாரோ ஒருத்தவன் செய்கிறான், விற்கிறான், இன்னொருத்தவன் வாங்குறான். தே ஆர் டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட்டிங், ரைட்? இன் தட் தேர் ஆர் நியூமரஸ் இஷ்யூஸ் ஹவ் ஸ்டார்டட் கம்மிங், ரைட்? issues in the sense விற்கிறவங்களை ப்ராப்பராக they are checking as well, but still there are some problems. So when they are sending that consignment there is some breakage or something comes, and who is going to buy is the customer. So the customer is telling some problem. If it is not addressed properly, what happens? He lost the trust and he doesn't go for again procuring the product. So what happened? The loyalty and trust is lost and profit is also lost. So to manage that, what they have planned is adella work out panni paathadala, they are not any kind of product based company, they are service based company, but the profit what they gain is much higher. So why can't you give that 15% of profit to the people again? Okay, so how this can be made is the IT is the only solution. That's how your SaaS and other technology has emerged. So for that they employ certain peoples and give a call based and voice based etc, all the support they give, and because of that a great industry is benefiting. So now people are trying to develop code for that through the AWS, and they are trying to automate that. Okay, automatically this all these issues should be sorted out. So still this will be the effective problem at least 10 to 15 years, because to have the collection of different problems and data sets, it will take almost 10 years. ஓகே, 10 வருஷம் அந்த ஃபீல்டில் என்ன டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கஸ்டமர்ஸ் ஆல் த த்ரூ த வேர்ல்ட் இஃப் யூ டேக், தென் யூ ஹாவ் ஆல் த ப்ராப்ளம் செட்ஸ். ஸோ ஃப்ரம் த டேட்டா செட் ஒன்லி யூ கேன் ட்ரை டு டெவலப் சொல்யூஷன். Okay, so the AWS become very effective because of this basic issue. Correct? So this kind of supports are more relevant. And when we are talking about the other three components, the last one is the money. So where from the money can come? Basically it is we are bootstrapping. That is one area where individually எனக்கு ஒரு தோட்டம் இருக்குது, அதில் நான் ஒரு போர்ஷன் மட்டும் விற்றுட்டு நான் ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஆரம்பிக்க போகிறேன். அண்ட் அகெயின் ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு யூஸ் திஸ் ஃபார் மை ஓன் ஃபீல்டு. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் கோகோனட் வச்சுருக்கீங்கன்னா கோகோனட்டுக்கே சம் ஃபெர்டிலைசர் ஆர் சம் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் டெக்னாலஜி யூ கேன் யூஸ் இட் அண்ட் reapply to your field. That is one way of looking at. If not, we can go for the investment from the bank. Okay, so bank we have the different loan options are available. Even that is not available, then we can go to the incubators. Incubators are there with support of soft loans, in the sense without interest we have to repay, debt based nu solvanga. If you are getting 20 lakhs as a debt, what is the income means the fund, so that can be repaid with a certain amount of time period, maybe a 5 years, 10 years, maximum 5 years. Now it is not 10 years allowed. So within that 5 period you can as a EMI you can pay back, or certain people are taking it as a equity, in the sense I have a better idea and I give 1%, 2% stake to you as a institute or the company. So that what you can do is once you are succeeding in that idea, the 2% stake has to be given to the organization. Okay, in the sense நீங்கள் இன்றைக்கி ஒரு 10,000 rupees வாங்கியிருப்பீங்க. The stake when you pay back at the rate of now for example 20 lakhs you get as money now with the valuation of something around 50 crores. Okay, later your product market can be improved and it can become 1,500 crores. You imagine what is the 2% stake. It is very huge amount. In fact that's what the plan all the IITs and NITs, National Institute of Eminence, are planning. Okay, it's not that debt based. Okay, so this transformation is also happening among the incubators. And then the incubators will get money from whom? Again from the government. So they has to justify like these are all the ideas we have and all our students are doing it very well, and this is how this plan works, and all this DPR, detailed project report, has to be submitted with validation and presentation. We can be supported by the EDI like Entrepreneurship Institute of India or DST under Ministry of Science and Technology. All are giving funds for especially the domain focused areas. So like that we get that fund and give it to you. So you being a startup, you can work on that idea and give back to the society. Okay, so this is how this funding circle works. So again we ask you to be the mentor for the future coming ideas. For example, some incubators are doing that. For example, you are working on fintech area, so again I get some 2-3 new ideas for the fintech area. You be the mentor for that startups and develop that into a revenue generation model. So all these things can be done within this circle. Okay, yeah, next. So this is the overview of how this incubator can be used in your case. Especially we are trying to fail it as quick as possible, because you have to again succeed. Okay, when you are don't hesitate to do anything at this zone, student or immediate graduates. So after 10 years it is very difficult. You have to do do or die situation. Now it is okay that even if you fail, you can get up early. Okay, so it is a comparatively safer zone, not the riskier zone. Next. So any innovation or any startup has to cross all these barriers, especially the valley of death, to reach a stable market position. That is entering into the IPO, etc. So IPO is the very long term, but still during the developmental grants and converting into a sustainable company, it's a great challenge. Okay. நீங்கள் ஒரு கம்பெனி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா கீழே ஒரு 5 பேர் வேலை பார்க்குறான், 5 பேருக்கு சம்பளம் கொடுக்கணும், நீங்களும் ப்ராஃபிட் எடுக்கணும், அண்ட் சொசைட்டிக்கும் நல்ல ப்ராடக்டாக கொடுக்கணும். ஸோ பேலன்சிங் ஆல் தீஸ் த்ரீ இஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட். ஓகே, ஒன்ஸ் யூ ஸ்டார்ட் டூயிங் தட் அண்ட் கன்சிஸ்டன்ட் இன் தட் ஃபார் அட்லீஸ்ட் 2-3 years, யூ வில் டெஃபினெட்லி கிராஸ் திஸ் பேரியர் வெரி ஈஸிலி. ஸோ நிறைய பேர் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, நல்லா பண்ணுவாங்க, பட் தே ஓன்ட் ஸ்கேல் தேர் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ், எஸ்பெஷலி again those products will also fail at a very long run. Okay, so you have to do it consistently and grow at scales as well, especially milky mist நம்ம இங்க பார்த்தோம். It is scaling they actually had a fear initially, but with the support of all other stakeholders and society, they cross the barrier, and even you can look at many places where the milky mist is available. So one company which is very nearby to us have grown to such extent. நம்ம கண்கூடா பார்த்தோம். From 2009 they have come here for developing a whey based drink. இந்த தயிரில் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு தண்ணி மாதிரி இருக்கும் இல்லையா, they consider that is the waste, they cannot use it for anything, but it consists of more protein, so they converted that into a product. So again that will also add a revenue to them. Okay, so these are all some areas where we have to work on. Okay, so with that yeah, some anecdotes. It is almost we are growing at very rapidly. Even today's newspaper hits the same news. So we are growing at very fast rate, especially in the startup area. Next. Startup area in the sense deep technology areas, not you need not convert that into a startup as well. You must have that idea, and that can be implemented in somehow to develop the nation. Okay, yeah, next. So India is promising in that. Next. Okay, these are all different startup missions by different states. We are having startup TN as well as what you call EDII, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Okay, both of them are doing good. Next. And I said about the unicorns already. So within a short time, maybe a 5 years, if you cross the $1 billion as a tradable value, then you become unicorn. Next. So India is this is the older maybe 2 years back, but if you look at now, we have 100 more added to this criteria. In the sense, we are growing very strongly and organically as a country. So, and if you look at the major spot where Tamil Nadu during the earlier revolutions, many of the south-based startups, means south-based industries are more. You look at any giants, maybe the Saravana stores or whoever earning more in Chennai, all are from almost the south. Maybe they are not well aware about the term valuation, these things, but they have implemented very long back. Even the VGP Golden Beach, he is also from the south, but he has made a very different idea of establishing a fun city, means fun area. But like that, many theme parks have come now. Okay, so the ideas are very, what you say, attractive. So once you charm the people with your ideas, then easily you will get success. Okay, next. So this is how the background of the TBI. Next. These are all the portfolios we work, and some products what we have developed here. Next one. Yeah. So with that, I would like to hear from you. Is that the passion really because of the teacher or because of me? In terms of question, you can ask. Okay. So, all of you means whenever we talk, we ask for the ideas based on each person. Okay. Now, because of time, I am not able to do that. But what I can tell you is, each person I want to share your idea in terms of a sheet which I will be sharing with you. Maybe I have asked the business model canvas one template. I've asked her to open. Say, I will display this. Maybe have you worked out earlier? Those who are business model canvas na என்னன்னு தெரியுமா? இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஏதோ design thinking workshops have you attended? Somebody raise hands. Work பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? No? Okay. All of you are currently in second years, first year. Second years. So you almost completed one degree either in engineering or arts. Commerce background, everything. Okay. So you are in your second degree. Okay. What I expect is based on your instances. Maybe you felt many of the problems you would have come across in life, right? Take anything. It may be even in a hairband விற்க போறேன்னு கூட ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். Okay, that doesn't matter. But one product or the idea what you have it in your mind, and I want you to fill based on that product how you are going to succeed in selling that. You are going to prepare this chart for me, and this chart I will take from the madam actually. நீங்களே உங்க நோட்ல போட்டுக்கங்க, or digital copy at least you can send me. Okay. So all of you, I want you to work out on this concept. Let me explain what is it. For example, if you think of a product or an idea, you can have the key partners who are all can be added. அது நீங்க maybe a family base இருக்கலாம், friends இருக்கலாம், who you want that suitable person to be with you. Minimum 2. Okay. I am not restricting the numbers, but always it is a proverb we say, faster you want to grow, means faster you want to go alone. Farther you want to go by 2. So always a startup idea, when 2 people are starting that, it always goes for a success. That's the common either you say it a myth or a thumb rule. Many startups which is started with 2 people have succeeded, starting from the Wright brothers till now. Okay. So many of these ideas works when it is explored together. Okay. So that key partners you can add, and what are the activities you are going to do with that. For example, I am going to build a new aircraft. So what are the activities you can do with that product. Okay. ஒரு ஹேர் பேண்டுனா அதை வச்சு என்னெல்லாம் நீங்கள் பண்ண முடியும், அண்டு ஏர்க்ராஃப்ட்னா அதை வச்சு என்ன பண்ண முடியும், கேமரானா என்ன பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ with respect to the idea or the product you have, what are the key activities you can do with that, and where from you resource it. இது செய்யறதுக்கு எனக்கு என்ன வேணும், நான் இந்த கடையில் போய் வாங்கிட்டு வந்து கொடுத்துட்றேன்னு எழுதக்கூடாது. If you are making a hairband, it is made up of rubber na, I depend upon Hindustan Latex Limited. அவங்கள்ட்டேருந்து ரப்பர் வாங்குவேன். So where from you are going to source that? I am talking about the raw material source. If it is a software program எழுதுறீங்கன்னா, it is a own origin. நான் மைண்டில் தோன்றதை எழுதுவேன். And what is the basic for that? I refer textbooks of Shakuntala Devi or something like that. So whatever it is, I am telling, for example, software may not be the full-fledged product unless it is covered with the hardware as well. Okay. So key resources you have to give, and value proposition is something you have to look at the area where it belongs to. For example, cosmeticsங்கிற கேட்டகரி கீழே உங்களோட ப்ராடக்ட் வருதுன்னா, then the cosmetics is growing at a rate of 12 CAGR. So annual growth rate வந்து it is about 12%, means now it is 1 rupee, and after 5 years what will be its impact அப்படின்னு நீங்கள் கூகுளில் பார்த்து கூட ஆன்சர் சொல்லலாம். Okay, there are so many tools available. So what will be your valuation as per your own standards? Okay, I am not interrogating there because it is not much useful now, but with the idea you must understand what is the value proposition. For that you have the value. Okay, you can take the assistance of Google or Chat GPT, AI, etc. Okay, அதுக்குன்னு எல்லாத்துக்குமே எடுக்கக்கூடாது. ஓகே, ஸோ கஸ்டமர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் in the sense who will be your customer, that's the primary question. நீங்கள் விற்க போகிறது யார்கிட்ட விற்க போகிறீங்க, ஆர் த end user. Okay, and what are the channels? So what channels you are going to deliver that? For example, you are having in mind ஒரு ஏரோப்ளேன் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா, ஏரோப்ளேன் யாரும் வீட்டுக்கு வந்து கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. ஓகே, the person has to come and see, experience. So like that, based on your product idea, what will be the mode you use for sending these things? Okay, or postcard size la you can send it to the home, but when it is like a building, you have to suitably plan your modes, modalities for selling that. Okay, so that modes I am asking. And customer segments, whether it is targeted to one type of people. நான் வந்து ஒரு பிஸ்கட் செய்ய போகிறேன் and it is only for sugar diabetic people, or I am targeting only children, or எனக்கு வந்து கிட்னியில் ஸ்டோன் இருக்குது, அந்த டிசீஸ்டு பர்சன் மட்டும்தான் என்னோட டார்கெட் குரூப். ஸோ லைக் தட் யூ ஹாவ் டு கஸ்டமைஸ் தட் செக்மெண்ட்ஸ். ஆர் வாட் ஆர் த ப்ராடக்ட் கேன் பி யூஸ்டு பை எனி கேர்ள்ஸ் அட் த ஏஜ் ஆஃப் 10 to 20 அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஆர் எனக்கு பாய்ஸ் வந்து ஒன்லி கிரிக்கெட் பிடிக்கிறவங்க இதை யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆன் தட் கஸ்டமர் செக்மெண்ட். ஓகே, ஒன்லி நோட் தட் திங். அண்ட் காஸ்ட் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர். ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் யூ ஆர் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் த காஸ்ட் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர், இட் இன்க்ளூட்ஸ் ரா மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் ஆஸ் வெல் அஸ் த மீன்ஸ் ரெக்கரண்ட் அண்ட் நான் ரெக்கரண்ட் காஸ்ட். ஓகே, ரெகுலராக எனக்கு தேவைப்படுறது ஆர் ஒன் டைம் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ்மெண்ட். And how I am going to streamline that cost, that is the cost stream. And the last one is a revenue stream. எனக்கு எப்படி வந்து ரெவன்யூ வரணும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், டிஜிட்டல் எனக்கு பேமெண்ட் பண்ணி இதில் டைரெக்டாக வந்துடும், இல்லை எனக்கு வந்து கையில் காசு கொடுத்து தான், கேஷ் ஒன்லி தான், இல்லை எனக்கு என்எஃப்சியில் தான் பண்ண முடியும், இல்லை வைஃபையில் தான் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ வாட் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ரெவன்யூ ஸ்ட்ரீம் த்ரூ விச் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு அக்வயர் த ஃபண்ட்ஸ் மீன்ஸ் த காஸ்ட். ஓகே, ஸோ இந்த ரெவன்யூ ஹவு யூ ஆர் பிளானிங் yourself. So in the or basic structure we need for all your ideas. You can take maybe 20 minutes is ideal, but 35 minutes you can give for them, so that this can be fully, you can portray that and you take the snapshot and share with madam. Okay, so will you do all of you? Product idea irka first, so you can give it a try. You can take 5-10 minutes maybe with the break, then they can think of this and they can submit it. Or A4 sheet mattu kodunga.
I extend my sincere gratitude to our School of Management Studies and Institutions Innovation Council for their continuous support and encouragement in organizing such insightful programs. A special note of thanks to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. R. Balakrishna Raja sir, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. Sir, your knowledge and inspiring words have truly motivated us to think innovatively and explore the opportunities ahead. Lastly, my heartfelt thanks to everyone present here for being a wonderful audience. Thank you all once again. Everyone kindly fill the feedback form.